The Necklace is a short story that revolves around the life of Mathilde Loisel and her unfulfilled desires for wealth and luxury. Here's a simple and easy-to-understand summary. In a small flat, she and her husband lived a simple, not extravagant life. Mathilde, however, yearned for wealth and resented their modest living conditions. She was unhappy and longed for a grand house, fine clothing, and abundant jewelry. Her desires were unmet and made her unhappy. One day her husband brought home an invitation to a fancy ball. He hoped she would be thrilled, but she was far from delighted. Instead, she tossed the invitation aside and began to weep. Her sorrow stemmed from her belief that she lacked a beautiful dress suitable for such an elegant event. Mathilde aspired to impress everyone at the ball and be a success. Her kind-hearted husband offered her 400 francs to purchase a lovely dress. He had saved this money to buy a rifle, but he willingly sacrificed it for his wife's happiness. The week leading up to the party saw her in a state of anxiety again. She lamented the absence of jewelry to complement her dress. Her husband suggested that she borrow some from her friend Jean Forestier. Mathilde visited Jean and borrowed a splendid necklace. The night of the ball arrived, and Mathilde and her husband had a wonderful time. She succeeded in capturing the attention of all in attendance. However, as they returned home during the early morning hours, Mathilde discovered that the necklace was no longer around her neck. Panic set in, and they feared it may have been lost in the cab or on the streets they traversed. Despite reporting the loss to the police and placing advertisements, their efforts were fruitless. Her husband urged her to write a letter to her friend, explaining that the clasp had broken and she was having it repaired. During their search for a replacement necklace, they came across one that cost an exorbitant 36,000 francs. Although her husband had inherited 18,000 francs from his father, they had to borrow the remaining amount. It took them a decade to repay the borrowed money. Over these years, their lives changed drastically. They moved into a smaller apartment where she had to take on the responsibilities of cooking and cleaning herself. Her husband worked multiple jobs to repay the borrowed funds. Mathilde, who had once appeared well off, now resembled a strong, aging woman from a humble household. One day, while on the street, she spotted Miss Jean Forestier and decided to confess the truth about the necklace. Jean Forestier, taken aback by Mathilde's haggard appearance, learned the truth about the necklace. She revealed that it was a fake and worth no more than 500 francs. In essence, the necklace tells the story of Mathilde's relentless desire for wealth, which leads her to a decade of hardship and struggle, only to discover that the necklace she lost was not worth the extravagant sum they paid to replace it. The story serves as a cautionary tale about the consequences of vanity and materialism. Do check our playlists that cover the entire book. Subscribe to never miss an update.